I don't like them. I don't like them at all. I love how everyone's headbanging now. Yo, they're into it now. I didn't think that was her job. Oh, these girls are ultimate fucking wingman. I have never went from complete and utter disgust from the song slash band I was hearing to holy hell, where did that talent come from? I don't know how they pulled it off, but I didn't think they had that type of singing chops on them. But bravo, you crazy bastards, you. Drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around here. Patrons where you catch my full live reaction. So like, as soon as those dudes got introduced, and they were just screaming and singing, even before they started playing instruments, I was like, oh god, they're gonna suck. Like, I imagine they're talented for their exorcisms, but like, the songs are gonna be dog shit. Like, they are just, what I am hearing is like the equivalent of like listening to a song, you're like, yeah, that's a pretty good song, and then you look up the live video of them performing it, and you realize the only reason they sounded good on the album is because of a lot of effects and tuning. The weird thing is that it was all live. Maybe it's a case of like once they get into their exorcism magic mumbo jumbo, it just makes their singing and playing better, because it's not even just like the singer was dog shit. Strings were breaking, they were off key, it was just an abomination. And then once the concert got going, I love how collectively, like, I guarantee you a majority of watchers, even if you weren't like thrashing, there was a little headbanging going on. But the fact that even the most big hater of that group, Ira, who was like, I hate it here, started thrashing. And that whole scene was great, because basically we ended last week with the worst possible thing. Grandma decided to say, pass the soy sauce, and splashed on Gigi, and you know, it was really funny because I unironically had multiple people say, oh, it's not a big deal, they'll just throw water on them. And honestly, I wanted to punch some people through the screen because I'm like, are you serious, bozos? Do you not think that transformation is going to destroy a large portion of their home? And lo and behold, it happened. And I gotta imagine insurance like consistently cover Gigi's outburst. So the idea that they lost like a third or even a fourth of their home through that, for a one-off joke, it was a dumb mistake. Like, I expected better from Grandma. Thankfully, she's still the best character, but, you know, still, just, you can't have any liquids around. Like, even if you had the boiling water ready to go, it's, do you really have the house to, they have now cardboard up everywhere. And I love the fact that Momo's idea to help pay for the house is to get like, what part-time job is going to pay enough to rebuild that house? I got many questions. But either way, it was really nice because, like, obviously the whole goal initially was to remove Evil Eye. Gigi, however, different opinion of the matter. He's like, listen, I promised to play with this kid, and, you know, he deserves happiness. Is Evil Eye a bit of a scoundrel right now? Maybe, but I like the idea that we were very close to going through with that whole ritual, and I appreciate that she pulled away. She said, you know what? Concert's over. Honestly, I expected them to have a more negative reaction. Despite my initial negative opinion of them as characters, they were surprisingly wholesome. They're like, oh, the concert's over? Alright, bet, we'll just pack up. They're tidying up. They didn't even leave a crumb behind. They made sure they cleaned up their mess, so I appreciate that. But the idea that they're kind of doing what I was thinking they might do, which I mentioned in my previous video, I believe. Anyone who's watching Witch Watch, there's a werewolf character, transforms, goes a little haywire, main character Moy slaps the shit out of him, says, down boy. And he listens because he's stronger than him. I was thinking something like that might happen, and seemingly that's kind of what they're doing for now. That Okarun and potentially Momo duo should be enough that, you know, if Evil Eye goes a little haywire, we can smack him back down and remind who's boss. But the big core thing that they want to do is Gigi to get strong enough to contain the presence himself. Which isn't going to happen overnight, but I appreciate that it's a decent character, long-driven goal that will keep everything rather engaging. So they had their fun. The big action set piece was a giant music festival, which I thought was fantastic. And seriously, I am baffled how dog shit it sounded before versus during the actual performance. Like, if you heard rehearsals like that, you would not be showing up to that concert. But surprisingly, the concert worked. So either their magical production team was doing tuning on the fly fantastically, or they were just a little drunk before the main show. I don't know. The second part of the episode, though, I quite like because they took it slow. They allowed a little bit of slow burn. And not to say, like, the ending of the episode wasn't hilarious, because, truthfully, I figured Momo's friends were dragging Okarun along just for, I don't know, shits and giggles, like, maybe to pry. Do you like our girl? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I knew they were going to be wingman for her, but, like, the idea that we drag him to a maid cafe and lo and behold, our girl's there. That is fantastic. That scene next week, even if it's 2 minutes long, will be better than any action scene we've ever seen in Dandadan. Let's keep it a buck. But overall, it's good because the thing I really like about the Gigi and Okarun friendship that's blossoming is that despite how different it started, I like that Okarun kind of sees himself in Gigi, and the idea that he felt like he was a hindrance, that like why should they, protect him when he was going crazy and, everything was changing. And no matter how much he tried to pay them back, they wouldn't take money because, just pay it forward. So the idea that he looks at Gigi not as a hindrance, but like, I was in your shoes. Like, we help you. Like, that's what this group does. This is a family that helps each other so that even if you're different, you don't have to tackle this bullshit alone. And I really appreciate that message. I mean, the show's ridiculous. It's silly. It's funny. It's absurd, but it has heart. And I think that's the big thing that sells this show and why it's always been disappointing that so many creators and just people who like and even dislike the series, they collectively spread the worst messaging about Dandadan online. They'll put like the most out of context scenes or scenes that aren't meant to be like positive towards horrible alien abductions rather than focusing on the actual core heart of the show, which is it's family, it's friendship, and it's overcoming horrible things together rather than locking it away behind a cage. And that's why I think Gigi's enthusiasm for Evil Eye I can accept so easily, because I've seen a lot of shows where you have like that evil character that objectively should just be put down. It's too much of a wild animal, but given how Gigi feels, what he's went through, and what he's personally experienced through his memories, I completely am in support of him wanting to give Evil Eye a shot. And I very much hope it's not going to be an immediate turnaround, but something that will be, a common thing that will make him struggle. But the fact that Gigi will refuse to just get rid of him will make me appreciate him even more as a character. Him and Grandma, best characters in the show 100%. And that says a lot because both Momo and Okarun are also really great characters. But it's not to say like, oh, they're certain. No, it's just like these two just click with me. And I never expected I'd like Gigi as much as I am. And I understand why people said, just you wait. He may not be much now, but he's going to become something later. And lo and behold, he has. Let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think? Like, I'm sure there's going to be some people who thought, like, the music sounded fine at first, but those strings weren't breaking because, oh, they were shredded. No, it was just, they were dog shit at playing and then somehow got amazing. I don't know how they did it, but leave it to Dandadan to prove me otherwise. Thoughts? Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Patrons where you catch my full live reactions and exclusives, like, hey, I give video shoutouts to all my patrons. So today we got Dapper Dad, Pacifist Gunslinger, Corefish, Kalajoko, Manasa Donapu, Mike Joe, Crazy Cards, and we also have Drew Stern. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.